Welcome back, Curry Crew. So this week on the channel, we're gonna have an amazing, delicious recipe for you guys, and we're also joined by a very special guest. This is a fellow YouTuber. His name is ft.CardMechanic, and he has an awesome channel where he does some card tricks, and he teaches people how to also do some magic tricks and card tricks. So definitely check out his channel. We'll put the link in the description below so you can check it out. And you want to say something to the Curry Crew?
Yeah, I'm just excited to be here and have some curry.
And we're gonna be eating some great food, so let's get to it. So guys, I'm sure you've already guessed from the title of the video itself. What we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna recreate DiGiorno. So this is basically any frozen pizza you can get at a grocery store. And what we're gonna do is, not only are we gonna recreate it, but we're gonna elevate it. And the way we're gonna do that is, we are going to first taste it, we've already made it, and we're gonna see what flavors we get out of it to figure out how to recreate the dish itself. And then we're gonna add our own spin on it to make it even better, to show people who hate cooking or think it takes too long, that not only can you get pizza that's just as good as the one you get in the store, but you can actually make it better than what you can get anywhere else. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut into this, we're gonna taste it. So Card Mechanic, if you want, we've already made it, you wanna cut into it. We can taste some of this pizza and then see how we're gonna make it again.
Should I cut into it?
Let's go.
Not a professional cutter.
Yeah, I can see that. Alright, so just grab a slice. I'm gonna grab this one right here.
Oh yes.
Jumbo slices.
Been hungry for ages.
Yeah.
Oh. It's hot.
Okay, so immediately I can taste the Parmesan on the cheese. There's a very distinct taste. It's a very basic tomato sauce. I don't know if you can tell. It's also salty. Is it salty for you?
I think that's maybe the Parmesan. I'm not really a chef.
Yeah, I think it's the Parmesan. It's definitely a little salty. The sauce seems like a very basic sauce. It doesn't seem like anything fancy. And also, I can taste that there's also mozzarella in there probably. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go with a part skim mozzarella like they usually do for all pizza blends. We're also gonna definitely put some Parmesan on there. So we have a Parmesan and Romano blend that we're gonna use. And I'm also gonna put a little bit of Asiago cheese because they just mentioned it on the box that there is Asiago cheese. I don't really taste it, but I'm gonna put it on there. And the way we're gonna elevate it is we're gonna put some onions, put some peppers on there. And for the crust, what they just do is I think they just put some cheese around the crust. We're actually gonna elevate that. We're gonna make kind of like a garlic bread crust. We're gonna take some butter, we're gonna take some garlic, we're gonna chop it up, put it in there. We're gonna make a garlic butter, and basically for our crust, we're gonna brush it with some garlic butter, put a little bit of Parmesan on there, and go from there. It's gonna taste amazing. So before we start cooking, like I always do, make sure to punch that notification bell, punch it, and let's get to cooking. So guys, so based on our taste of the DiGiorno's, we did see that it was a little salty. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use less Parmesan because that is a little bit of a salty cheese. The other thing that we're gonna be doing is we have some amazing fresh ingredients that we've gotten from our local grocery store. And that's one of the main advantages of using this compared to using a frozen pizza.
Okay.
You know, you have some fresh ingredients. It's a lot healthier for you since a frozen pizza is usually packed with preservatives and a bunch of not good stuff for you because they want to keep it on the shelf a lot longer. Because we're making it fresh, we're gonna have less preservatives. It's gonna be a lot better for you. Again, pizza's never super healthy, but healthier than that one. And we're gonna elevate it in a few ways. So what we're starting doing is we have fresh pizza dough that we bought. So Card Mechanic, we're gonna have you roll that out.
I have never rolled out dough before.
No worries. I am going to guide you every step of the way. So we're gonna take that off.
Smells like fresh dough.
So before you put the dough on the counter, you're gonna sprinkle some flour on the counter to make sure that it doesn't stick.
Okay.
So take a good pinch, sprinkle it all over the counter here. You could probably go a little bit more. Probably want to use a little bit more flour. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and then just spread it out a little bit with your hands. Yep, that should be good. So then you can take the dough out of the bag.
Are you sure that's good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
He's the magician, so I'm gonna let him work with his hands.
I'm also an engineer. So.
So am I, but then we're both doing YouTube. So
Here we are.
there we go. Perfect. All right, drop it
Put it
on.
on?
Yep, drop it on.
I do this.
Put the bag over here for now. All right, so just roll it around in the flour a little bit. Maybe take a little bit more flour on top. Flip it over. Yep, and then just make it into a nice little ball. I'm gonna hand you this. Don't hurt anybody with it.
Okay, I mean, the only person I could hurt is you.
Super dangerous. Don't
And
hurt
myself.
me. Don't hurt yourself. Here you go. You're gonna roll out the pizza dough and try to get it.
God, this is heavy.
Try to get it as circular as possible. You can also make dough at home. There's a bunch of recipes online where you can do that. But store-bought dough is still pretty good and still pretty fresh. And what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna roll it out more. So CardMechanic here is gonna roll it out into a nice big circle. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna top it with our sauce. We're also gonna put our cheese, our toppings, a bunch of stuff, good stuff, and we're gonna make it really delicious. So yeah, just continue rolling it out.
So my question is, how do I know how thin I want to make it?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get it basically about, I would say, half an inch or an inch thick. So basically, if you really want to measure it, just take your index finger and the first line on your index finger that you have, you kind of want it to be half of that. So basically, if you just raise your finger there, it should be about halfway.
That still seems quite thick.
So we're gonna keep going. You want to kind of make it to the same size as what the DiGiorno was. So like a medium-sized pizza, if you would. And we're gonna keep rolling it out. All right, so CardMechanic here is gonna try tossing a pizza, which both of us don't know how to do. So he's gonna try tossing it. Let's see how that goes.
So you want to start with small tosses.
Yes, because he's the expert here.
And as you can see, things are going quite well. I haven't dropped it yet.
It's not getting any bigger though.
You actually have to expand. There we go. Now you see that.
So from what we've seen on TV and other YouTube videos, the way to really toss a pizza is basically you take your knuckles, 2 knuckles on each hand like this, and basically you're just gonna expand it using the knuckles and your thumbs and then toss it that way. It's going pretty well. He hasn't dropped it yet, so that's a positive. I don't know if it's really getting bigger as like a circle.
It does feel that way.
But it's going pretty well. It's not terrible.
Not professional, but
honestly, it looks pretty good, so I can't complain.
Thank you. Thank you. Next thing you know, next toss.
Stick to the seal. Alright, not bad.
I feel like it did get a little bigger.
Alright, I'm just gonna use the rolling pin and roll it out a tiny bit more.
Okay.
It might not be a perfect circle like DiGiorno, but that's okay. Sometimes the best things in life are imperfect. There we go. And drop it on our pizza pan right there. Perfect. Now, we are going to top it with our sauce.
What?
Our sauce.
Oh, a sauce.
Our sauce.
Okay.
Yes, our sauce. So grab that. What we've chosen is Prego, just because we like it. You can choose whatever sauce you like. We like this one just because it has a good flavor already. You don't have to do much seasoning of your own. So what I'm just going to do is mix it up a little bit. And CardMechanic, if you want, sauce it up.
Oh yeah. Does it matter how much sauce I put?
To your heart's desire.
Because I've heard if you put too much sauce, that it doesn't get done properly. So like a bit of the crust stays a bit raw.
Yeah, so you do want to do enough that you cover like the entire surface. You don't want to do it so much that you see like blobs and puddles of the sauce.
Okay.
So you kind of just want to do like a little bit of a light saucing. So I would say you're almost there. I would just say maybe half a spoon more and we should be good.
Now my heart's not super content. I want to put like half the bottle. Is that?
Yeah, that might be a little too much.
Okay.
So you might just have
This
to change.
much more then?
Yeah, I think that much more should be good.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty good, decent amount. You don't want it to be too saucy either. You want to have a good balance of flavors and a good balance of ingredients. So I think that's good for now. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna top it with our cheese. So like I mentioned before, the DiGiorno is super heavy on the Parmesan. We're gonna go a little bit lighter on the Parmesan. Our main cheese that we're gonna be using is a part skim mozzarella. Just because it has a good stretchiness. So like a lot of times when you cut into a pizza or when they cut into a pizza on a commercial, you see that cheese pull. a lot of it comes from the mozzarella, just because it's a very stretchy cheese.
Oh, I do like stretchy cheese.
So I'm gonna have you use the mozzarella, top of a good, decent layer.
Yes.
And in the meanwhile, I'm gonna take a little bit of a Parmesan Romano blend, and same thing, we're gonna do a quick layer of that. Again, we don't want to use as much as what they did because it would turn out a little salty like theirs was. So I'm just gonna start with 1 handful and just sprinkle it evenly across. Maybe I'll do a second handful just to make sure that we get enough everywhere, just to get an even coating.
I think that's good.
So I think that's a decent amount right there. And then what we're gonna do is the final cheese that we're gonna put on there is a nice Asiago. It has a good taste. This one's really fresh. So go ahead if you want to taste that if you've never tasted
Yeah,
Asiago.
I do want to taste this out.
Taste that a little bit. Tell me what you think. What does it taste like?
I don't know. I like mozzarella better.
Yeah, this one is a little strong, right?
It's growing on me.
It's a little strong. It's not as salty as Parmesan. It has a similar profile. However, this is also a little bit more, how would you call it? Kind of like an aged cheese.
Yeah.
So it has a little bit of that old
I can
cheese
feel it.
taste.
I can feel like the 10, 15 years.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a little sprinkle of it. We're not gonna use too much.
Okay.
We just want that little, because you can see it packs a punch in its flavor.
Yeah.
So we don't want to use a lot of it. We just want to sprinkle a little bit everywhere, but not too much. So I only did about 2 pinches of it. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna top it up with some of our veggies.
Okay.
Right? So what I got for us is I got some onions. We're just gonna sprinkle some onions on there and make sure we get a nice even coating of onions. And we're gonna also add some red pepper slices. So there's 2 things this red pepper does for you. One, it adds a nice crunch, it's a nice sweetness, and also it just looks colorful.
It does.
Kind of like a work of art. That's what, technically speaking, that's what kind of like cooking is. It's kind of like a work of art. It looks pretty.
Same thing with magic.
Yeah, as long as you make it look pretty and it appealing to the eye, then people want to watch it or people want to eat it or even participate.
Yeah.
Right? So same thing in both. Okay, so we got our ingredients on there. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to do a kind of like a garlic bread crust. But before we can do that, we need to bake this pizza for a little bit. Because what we want to do is have the crust rise up. And when the crust rises up a little bit, then what we're going to do is we're going to take some butter, we're going to melt it down, add a little bit of chopped garlic in there.
Okay.
And then we're going to brush it around, all the way around on the crust.
Okay.
And then put it back in the oven for about 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
And we're good to go.
So how long do we bake it for the first time?
So what we've done already is we've preheated the oven to about 375.
Okay.
And we're going to bake it in the oven, I would say, for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Just for enough to get the crust rising. And when the crust rises, we'll butter it with some garlic butter, and then we'll put it back in there for about another 5-7 minutes, and then we should be good to go.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll see you guys in a quick break after we bake this one.
So while we wait for the pizza to bake, we're going to be doing a card trick. So this is a special one I prepared just for you. Awesome. So I want you to start off by cutting the deck into 3 piles. Make them as even as possible. They don't have to be perfect, but just as close to even as possible. Okay, I think that looks pretty solid. Okay, now I'm going to turn away, and while I'm turned away, you're going to pick up any of those packets, give it a good shuffle, look at the card, and then put it back right on top.
Look at the top card?
Look at the top card, yep.
Okay. Okay, now, I looked at my card, put it back on top.
Okay, so now you're going to turn the entire pack over.
Okay.
And put it face up on any of the other 2 packs.
Okay.
And now take the last packet that's remaining by itself and put that all the way on top.
Okay.
Okay, great. So now we have that. We have a face down pile on top, face up pile in the center, and face down pile on the bottom.
Yes.
Okay, and at this point, I haven't really touched the cards aside from giving them to you.
Yes.
So I want you to take the deck, cut it in half. Okay, perfect. Wow, that's actually really good. I'm impressed. And I want you just to riffle shuffle that together. Now, I'll just look away while this is happening so I don't get any peeks anywhere. As long as you give it your best try, that's all we ask for.
Yes, that's what's gonna happen.
Okay. And just give it one more cut. Just cut it and just complete the cut. Okay, perfect. So now if you take a look, we have cards facing up, cards facing down. You did all the shuffling pretty much by yourself, and just so you could see at home or wherever, I don't know where you are, but wherever you are, you can see
at the library.
You can see where it is. And at this point, I'm going to show you both sides. Okay, I'm going to show you this side.
Okay.
Just going to try to read your facial expressions to find out what side the card is on. Okay, I think I have a pretty good idea. I think your card is actually on this side. But I like to say, yeah, I'm pretty confident that your card is on this side.
Okay.
Okay, so now we'll just take a look here. And I want you to keep as solid of a face as you can because I'm going to try to read your facial expressions. So try to make this as difficult for me as possible. I think you actually were looking on this bottom pile here. That's what you were more focused on. So I think your card probably somewhere here. Wow, look at those eyes. So I think your card is somewhere here. Oh my God, I'm actually terrified for my life right now. So those are all the pencil cards.
Serial killer face.
Okay, so these are the options we have. Okay.
Do I look at you or do I look at the cards?
Look at the cards. Oh, I definitely saw a glimpse of your eyes go downwards. Okay, so we're down to these cards. Okay, and if you were to select any of these cards, which one would you pick?
Like select for.
Just if you were to select a card, if I told you to pick a card, which card would you pick? Now let me just tell you before you even pick a card. Some people would pick their card thinking, reverse psychology. If I pick this card, they may be like, oh, that's not my card. But most people would actually pick a card that's not their card. So just go ahead and pick a card.
Is that supposed to be like reverse psychology? Like, do you want me to pick my card now?
I don't know.
I see what you're doing.
If you were to pick a card, what
Playing
card?
mind games.
I am, yes.
I didn't even look at the card.
Okay, now you chose this card. It's different than the rest.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is your card. I think your card lies somewhere around here.
Okay.
Okay, we'll try this out one time. Look at the cards. Wow, I see a clear gaze go right on that card. Is this your card?
Want you to think.
Is this your card?
Yes. That was impressive. Okay guys, so our pizza's out of the oven just for a few minutes. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make our garlic butter. So there's a few tricks to making garlic butter. Very simply for us, we're just gonna melt some butter and put some chopped garlic in it. That's pretty much it. The way we're gonna do that is we're gonna take our cloves of garlic. So there are some tricks, right? So garlic has a little bit of this outer coating on here. So what's the trick to how to get it out of there and chop it up really quickly? So what I would say is take your knife. Ideally you have your chef's knife, it's pretty big. You put it on there flat like this and basically just press down. What's gonna happen is as soon as you do that, the outer skin is just gonna come right off. Okay, and then to chop it, all we're gonna do is basically chop it up into some big pieces first. Now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be mincing the garlic. So the way we're gonna do that is put it on our board, basically go over it, and then just start chopping down. And make a few passes over it on both sides. Bring it back together. And again, same thing, a few passes over it again. And you're gonna basically just keep doing this until you get pieces that are really tiny and really small. Yeah, they're pretty much small enough already. So all we're gonna do now is we're gonna take about a tablespoon of butter, which we already have in our bowl right here. And we're just gonna melt this in the microwave for about, I would say 30 seconds or so, and we should be good. So we got our butter right here, and all I'm gonna do is take our chopped garlic, drop it into our butter, and we're gonna add a pinch of Italian seasoning. The best thing about using fresh chopped garlic is the smell. It smells fantastic. And as you can see, we have our garlic and Italian seasoning butter. And all we're gonna do now is spread it onto the crust of our pizza. So guys, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a little bit of spoon, just go go over the crust of our pizza, go all the way around. We'll get a little bit of pool of butter on the actual pizza part itself. That's fine, it's gonna taste good still. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pop this back in the oven, basically until the top is a little bit golden brown and our crust is also a little bit golden brown. What I am gonna do right now is I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more of mozzarella cheese on top now that the first half is melted, so that we get a little extra cheesiness and pullness. Okay, so I'm just gonna sprinkle some extra mozzarella on there. Okay, so now we're just gonna pop this back in the oven, like I said, until the top's golden brown, the cheese is melted, and our crust is also a little bit brown all the way around. So we'll see you guys back for the reveal. So guys, here's our finished pizza. It looks beautiful.
It smells great.
Smells amazing. So we're not gonna wait anymore. We're gonna dig in. So Card Mechanic, if you wanna just cut into it, cut us some nice slices right there.
Oh god, that smells so good.
Okay guys, so we have our cut pizzas. Dig in.
Ooh.
Take a slice.
Oh man, that's a one thick slice.
Smells so good. So I'm gonna do something that's super sacrilegious.
Okay, you're gonna bite the crust first?
Yes.
Okay.
Just because we have that garlic on there, I'm gonna do something. You're not supposed to do this with pizza. However, because we put the garlic butter on there, I feel like I have to taste the crust.
And I'll eat the traditional way.
Yeah, I'll do the bad way. You do the right way.
Don't do this at home.
Don't try this out. So I'm gonna try the back. Oh man.
Okay, here we go.
That's good. It's hot.
That's good as well. Mm.
Mmm. That's really good.
I'm doing this.
It's not as salty as the other one.
I definitely agree. Tastes a lot better. Not as salty.
Tastes fresh too. I like the veggies. It gives a nice little crunch in between.
It's hot.
It's super hot. You just came out of the oven. So don't try this at home either, unless you want to burn your tongue. But there you guys have it. An amazing homemade pizza recipe. Didn't take too long. Took us maybe like 15-20 minutes to make it. So it was amazing. I want to thank Card Mechanic also for teaching me a brand new trick. That was awesome. So if you want to see me learning that trick, definitely go check out his video. We're going to put the link in the description because that video is not only going to have the trick, but it's also going to have me learning how to do the trick. So you definitely want to check that out. With that being said, keep, watching, like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more because we're going to have some more delicious food for you guys. See you next time.